If you've ever looked at Colorado on a map, you've probably seen this curious feature. Located south of the town of Creede, this 14-mile-wide circular structure is not an impact crater, but rather something far more interesting. It represents the center of an ancient extinct supervolcano which produced one of the single largest explosive eruptions in Earth's known geologic history. However, this massive structure that I have outlined, known as the Garita Caldera, was not a supervolcano, despite the fact it originated an eruption that was equivalent in size to about 385 simultaneous eruptions of Mount Saint Helens in 1980, erupting about 500 cubic kilometers of material. Instead, to see the full extent of the subsidence structure in question, which did form from a supervolcano, we need to greatly zoom out, with this 46-mile-long and 26-mile-wide feature representing the massive La Garita Caldera. It formed an eruption 10 times larger than the major one which formed the Garita Caldera. In one of the Earth's largest known explosive eruptions 27.8 million years ago, a whopping 5,000 cubic kilometers of volcanic rock was ejected as a plume of ash rose to a height of 50 kilometers or 164,000 feet. Due to how energetic this Tertiary period eruption was, mile-high pyroclastic flows incinerated essentially everything in at least a 60-mile radius, resulting in an extreme level of destruction. As the hours progressed, hot volcanic rock piled up, reaching as much as 3,000 feet thick in some spots. The extent of where ash fell from this ancient eruption is unclear, but it is quite likely that ash accumulated in parts of a majority of the lower 48 US states. Then, due to the extremely high volume of material erupted as the eruption was still ongoing, a massive section of the volcano collapsed downwards to fill the empty space in its magma chamber. This formed a massive 42 by 74 kilometer wide subsidence structure known as a caldera. Multiple segments of its rim are still easily visible in the landscape today. In the 900,000 years following this eruption, 7 other major explosive eruptions occurred, as this segment of Colorado was at the time seemingly the planet's epicenter of major explosive volcanic activity. This also formed in this order the South River Caldera, Bachelor Caldera, Rat Creek Caldera, Cebolla Creek Caldera, Nelson Mountain Caldera, Cochetopa Park Caldera, and the Garita Caldera. So yes, the 26.9 million-year-old Garita Caldera was the last of these to form, with Snowshoe Mountain representing its resurgent dome that formed post-eruption as the underlying magma chamber partially refilled. The resurgent dome of the broader La Garita Caldera is a bit less pronounced, including the summit of Twin Peaks. All of these calderas, including some not mentioned, comprise the broader San Juan volcanic field, which was active between 35 million and 23 million years ago. So, why precisely did the San Juan volcanic field form? Approximately 40 million years ago in what is now the western United States, the Flareup tectonic plate was subducting underneath the North American plate at a very shallow angle. Due to this shallow angle, very few volcanoes were created. This process caused an extreme amount of compression, causing the uplift and formation of the Rocky Mountains. However, several million years later, something changed. The Flareup tectonic plate suddenly snapped downwards at a much steeper angle in a process called slab rollback. This caused a section of the asthenosphere to upwell and fill the space previously occupied by the tectonic plate. Large volumes of magma then were generated and rose through the crust, accumulating in massive magma chambers and magma reservoirs, some of which later erupted onto the surface through incredibly large volume explosive eruptions. This geologic event was referred to as the mid-tertiary Ignimbrite Flareup, which saw the formation of dozens of supervolcanoes and very large calderas form in a relatively brief geologic time span in the southwestern United States, peaking in intensity between 35 million and 25 million years ago. Today, this massive volcanic complex is long extinct. In a large area surrounding the town of Crete, you can see the vast volume of ash and volcanic rock deposited by this eruptive series. It is truly an impressive sight to give a sense of scale of the eruptions which formed them.